There it is.
All right. Well, we are live, and welcome to another great episode. Not great. We haven't done anything yet. Welcome to another episode of Off the Rail. I am your host, Delaware Tom, Hollywood Tom. Today, I am Gulfstream Tom, and I will explain why we're at Gulfstream in just a minute. To my left or to my right, depending on where you are and where I am, is Mr. Truck Stop Burrito, Mr. AJ Ryder. AJ, good to have you, buddy.
What's
Thanks
going
for,
on?
for showing up.
I'm a little disappointed. Like off the top of the show, you said this wasn't necessarily a great show. I mean,
No,
what a letdown.
well, I said it's not great yet because we haven't done anything yet. We haven't done
Well, it's
anything
gonna
to
be
actually
great.
say.
You know it's gonna be
Yes,
great.
in
Come on.
they
Come
don't want to
on.
hear me. They don't want to hear me and you bicker like an old married couple. And we have a very special guest, and a lot of people in horse racing may know him. He is the host of Going in Circles podcast. He's a webcast contributor for Derby Wars. He is a 2018-ish Beamy Award winner, according to his Twitter profile. He is from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Hey.
A recent video of his went viral, and I want to talk about that on
Oh,
TikTok.
man.
That was pretty wild. He's someone who knows everybody in horse racing. One hell of a follow on Twitter. He is historian of our beautiful, great sport. He's a great voice. He's someone who actually does care about this sport, and he is one hell of an all-around nice guy, Mr. Barry Sniper Spears. Thank you for joining us, Barry.
Hey, man, after that kind of introduction, I could just leave, man. That was great. Thank you.
Oh, hey, well, I usually say here's AJ, and then have to build up my guest. But hey, man, thank you for coming in. And why we are at Gulfstream is because we're the host, and our guest home track is Gulfstream Park.
Oh, yeah.
Barry did a great video. I told him he should have gotten paid for his video a couple weeks back at Gulfstream. It was great. How you doing, man?
Good. Hanging in there. How you guys doing?
Great.
Probably a little bit chillier than you.
You know.
We
It was
can all live in
actually a little bit nippy here today. I mean, over the past 2 weeks, it's been like 80 plus, which is a little bit on the warm side for this time of year. Today it was about 72-ish.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Dude, I lived about an hour away from where you're at right now, and
Okay.
it's never compared to where we're at. It's never.
Yeah,
never
yeah. Trust me, I'm from Boston originally, so anything
Oh, that's
above
right.
You get it. You get it.
teens.
You got it.
Yeah,
You got
I'm
it.
cool.
Palm trees are still good. And Matthew, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. I'm wearing this because I in my mind I'm going to be at Gulfstream tomorrow, so I've got to dress the part.
That's right.
So I had
It's
to- I
awesome.
had to-
I used to wrestle a bunch at the Daytona Armory,
Oh man,
right
for
by
real?
Daytona Beach. Yeah, I've wrestled there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Well,
WWE style type
Yep.
wrestling.
NXT.
Oh, cool.
NXT
Oh,
in its infancy. We
You know,
used to go to Daytona Beach quite a bit.
what's crazy about that is my wife. Our first date, I took her to an NXT match in Orlando. Oh, and I don't even like
Wow.
wrestling. I'm not even a real big wrestling fan or anything. A guy I knew, he was doing hair and makeup for the wrestlers.
Awesome.
And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll give you some tickets. You should come see it." And I was like, "All right, whatever." And I was like, I invited my wife on the date, and that's where we went.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Crazy at
And
Full
yeah,
Sail
yeah.
University. Yeah.
Yep.
And little
What
did you
year-
know that
what year was that? Hold on.
AJ still does.
2013 or 2000. Yeah, 2013, 2012-ish.
Guess
And,
who was there? Guess who was there at that time?
Jim Ross was there, and what's his name?
This guy.
Triple H was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Guess
who's
who
it?
else
Nice.
was there? Guess who else was
Seamus.
there?
Oh, you were there.
Tell
Nice.
him your screen name, your stage name.
Troy McClain. You probably didn't see me at it. If it was at Full Sail, probably not. If it was at Daytona, very
Yeah,
good
it was
guess.
at Full Sail. Yeah,
Okay.
and I saw all those guys. I saw Sheamus wrestled. He was kind of like the headliner. The Usos were there.
Yep.
So I don't really. I'm not too big into it, but I'll watch it occasionally.
Well, if you ever see me wrestle, you should have.
Oh,
I
geez.
need now. I need to. Now I need to.
Believe me, nobody wants to see AJ in tights.
No one does. No one. There's a reason I'm not there anymore. Yeah.
Well, I do want to say a special shout out we had to one of our shortest fans, and no, that's not Dennis Trusty. It is McKenna. McKenna is a little girl who just came through with some dental surgery and is a big
Ooh.
fan of the show. So her dad Hans has posted her picture. So McKenna, hello, and just wanted to say that shout out. And you're talking about makeup and for the wrestlers. Little do you know that AJ still does employ a man do his makeup. Moving
day.
on. Moving on. All right, so we're here. We're going to talk about Gulfstream, the late pick 4, and it does look like we may get some weather down there. Which
shit, are we?
Which is par for the course for off the rail. We had two dry weeks, and every other week it's whether we've done Delaware, Parks, Laurel. It has always rained. But with that said, we've got some. I see some prices in a couple of these races actually, and I'm interested to see. Barry knows these jocks, trainers, horses better than AJ and myself, so I'm really interested to see what he's got going on. But we start with race 6, AJ. I know you love introducing the class of the race. You want to?
Oh, I love it. My favorite part.
Yeah, that's, I got something in the mail. I got a text saying, you know what? I didn't even know AJ knew how to read, so thank you for letting him read the class of the race.
Surprise, surprise. AJ knows how to read. So that being said, let me read this to you. Race 6. The start of this pick 4 sequence. We are going 6 furlongs, and right now we are on the dirt. This is a race for 2-year-olds only, and a starter allowance race for $39,000. Tom, that lead off.
All right. Yes, sir. Well, we're going to start at the beginning. We're going to start with the One Concrete Glory. Looking at the past performances and looking at this track, looks like this horse is in a very good position. The rail has been very kind to horses like them. It's a first off the claim for Jerry Thurston. Like I said, I do like that speed on the rail. It's winning at a 23% clip. He's looking at a prime number of 127, and is one of my favorite sayings is pace makes the race, class makes the race. This horse is tops in class. So I'm going to start with the 1. I went 3 deep here. And I went with the 2, just Leo. He has a couple of decent works. I like that one that just was last Thursday or Friday on the 8th. He went a little bit further last time out. He went 7 last time out. But if you look at that, he closed well. If we're going a little bit longer, that might be to his benefit. He also won at 5.5 with my guy and your guy AJ Michael Sanchez in September, and in Kelly Breen, who is one of those sneaky trainers, and I actually have a couple of his horses here in this sequence, and he's a good one of those oddball. He's a good combination of dirt and grass. We're going on dirt here. A lot of people think Breen is just a good turf trainer, but he actually he has some of these sneaky horses on the dirt. And my third horse I'll go with is the 6. I'll finish with Tyler Gaff in the irons. I think that this horse, if we're going to get what is it 5-1, that's going to be a gift. He had a nice last race. Bit of a little bit jump in class, but I'm not too worried about it. With a bit of jump in class, he's also got a bit of a jump in jockey class as well with Tyler. And with the 6 furlongs, I do look at the late kick, and I'll finish has a nice little bit of a late kick. So I went 1, 2, and 6 here.
Right on. Well, I'm very close to what you got. I went 4 deep here because last week we did this. I think I hit the pick 3. I did not hit the pick 4.
Yeah,
and I refused to be out in the first leg of this one. So I went 4 deep here. I am on 3, all 3 of what you got there. On Concrete Glory, like that horse last time out, ran a really great effort here at Gulfstream in a very similar situation. I also went with a 2, Just Leo. 2 wins at Monmouth before coming down here to Gulfstream. Second time out at this track, 4-1. Yep, take that. I'll finish. I would imagine that's what you tell your wife every night. That eventually you'll get there. And then I included the 7
open for that one.
Run. Yep. I was gonna be like self-deprecating, and then you took the horse, so now I had to pick on you. I also took the 7 Wild Run. Or no, I did not. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know why I thought the 7. The 3 Active Valor.
Yes. Okay.
Last
Yeah,
time,
that's a good horse.
yeah, last time out didn't finish, but when you look at the times of 4, up at Monmouth, it's so hard to judge Monmouth still. I do believe just because sometimes these horses just aren't asked, and 9-2, lost to Just Leo, but realistically, when I don't know if this horse was ever asked to go because we don't have a whip up there. So the fact that Louis Saez jumps aboard.
Yep.
100%. Let's go. So I went 1, 2, 3, 6.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I kind of had the combination of both of you in a way. I thought that the 2 Just Leo and 3 Active Valor coming out of that race on September 19th. It was a fairly strong race at Monmouth, and Just Leo kind of dominated. I almost singled that horse here, but I kind of hesitated, and I decided to use 4. So Just Leo is definitely one of them. I thought that race back on September 19th was very, very good. In a little bit over his head on October 30th at Gulfstream in that sprint, the state bred sprint stakes. So I'm guessing this horse is probably right where he should be for this race. Same thing with Active Valor. Active Valor actually kind of chased Just Leo around the whole racetrack at Monmouth that day, and I thought he ran pretty good. Should get a better setup because there seems like to be a little bit more speed than in that race. So that one definitely is a player, especially big time switch to Louis Saez tomorrow. It's definitely key. Blinkers on. Some decent works coming into this, so the horse is ready. Whether he wins or not is another story. Then I went kind of throwing it downfield a little bit with some long shots. I used the 4 Rhymes Like Dimes. The fractions in that race were pretty quick, and that horse kind of drew away from everybody. I mean, albeit it was only a 6-horse field, but first time out, it looked pretty damn good for this level. So I expect the rising class, or at least into winners, to be a good deal. I think this is one of those ones that you can say is going to probably improve a little bit off that last race, even though he won. And I used also Wild Run, who also is pretty quick here and may get a better kind of trip than all the rest of them, being outside of all the other speeds. Depending on what the Active Valor does, because the Blinkers On might give that horse a little bit more speed, because in the race in Monmouth he was kind of back a little bit, but I think Wild Run has a little bit of pace too. That race on October 17th was pretty good. It came back and won at 25 and was claimed, which was kind of interesting for a 20% trainer. He's only 2 for 10, but this horse has a little bit of ability, and I think should. I couldn't leave him out.
Yeah, that was my first question when you said that does the trainer switch concern you at all? But all right, I get it.
That's 2, 4, 7, Barry.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's 2, 3, 4, and 7.
2, 3, 4, and 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, let's all root for the 2 and the 3 then.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
They look like the class. I really almost singled the 2.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Just I don't know if you looked at that race, but
Yeah.
the race down at Monmouth was pretty damn good, and there was no, obviously no whips, things like that. The horse just ran pretty fast. So, and then they kind of overshot a little bit. So I think this is the appropriate spot for him. Probably would be favorite, I think. Maybe the one might be, but I hope the one is.
Yeah,
Right.
sure. Yeah, and the three might bite me in the end, but I had to try to make this ticket affordable for me. And I went a little bit deeper in the next couple. So that leads us to race 7, and we're going a mile, right, AJ?
That we are, Tom. Solid lead in. We are going a mile, and we are still on the dirt, and we are going to race for $61,000. This is a 3-year-old and older allowance race. And I believe at the top, Tom said I would lead this one off, so I will. And look, I got 2 horses in this race. I've got the 3, Liam. I have no notes on it. Oh, here's exactly why.
That's
I love
yeah.
someone who hasn't raced as a 3-year-old, but was competitive and very competitive as a 3-year-old, coming back as a 4-year-old and not having run in over a year, only because I once read a book by a guy whose last name was Bayer.
Fire, yeah. Yeah, Andrew,
And he
Andy.
talked about these young horses coming back and being able to mature over the course of that time. So if you thought you saw something with hit this guy as a 3-year-old, well, shit. Maybe you can expect a little bit more as a 4-year-old. I know it's his first race back, and maybe second time out is always a lot of people's favorites, but I like this horse here. Pletcher, Sias, 3-1 with a horse in this situation. I cannot leave it off my ticket. That being said, I don't want to play this race with him as a single because he has not raced in 444 days. So I took a little bit of a shot here with the 4, Little Demon,
Okay.
who has also not raced in a little bit of time. But when he did, I saw this horse just hang around a lot of times with some good wins. He won a 47K allowance race here before at this distance. Look, I think this horse is good enough to be competitive. Good enough so where I'll take a 12-1 shot here if I'm not going to just stay with a 3. So I went 3-4. This is the one out of my sequence. If I can get past, I feel very confident in.
All right. Just 2. All right. I like it, AJ. I like it, AJ. Why don't you go ahead, Barry?
All right. Well, I went 4 deep here again. This is a really difficult kind of race because, if you like, number 3 Liam, then in my mind, or the way I would normally play, if I liked a horse like Liam, I would single that horse and move on. But I don't actually like that horse. I think he's going to take a lot of money, and clearly there's some issues there for this horse to be coming back at the $25,000 level after running in a grade 3.
He's healed. He's healed. He's good. He's ready to
He's
go.
got to be, but I don't know. I'm always skeptical when I see a horse that they paid $450,000 for show up in a $25,000 race off a long layoff. It just doesn't bode. It doesn't sit well with me. I couldn't be confident in that horse winning, tomorrow, and he may even just dominate this field. But I'll be sitting out that one. I just can't bet a horse like that off that big of a layoff, going a 1-turn mile, off an Oklahoma Derby start that he didn't run that bad at 26-1. There's definitely something amiss here. And I guess the positive on that is he's not in for the claiming tag, which is a positive, which means they probably have a different race in mind. So I'm guessing that this isn't the goal here is to win tomorrow. So I'm willing to gamble on that. But the horse I kind of liked initially was the 6 Hercules. If you go back to April and March of this year, those races are smack dab right in the middle of this kind of condition, and the horse ran excellent. Pretty much kind of dominated that competition. So, the drop back down in class into this level will suit this horse very well. Whether he wins or not, obviously, is another story, but has the right running style, runs well at this level, and should be tough. If it were not for Liam being in this race, I think that horse would be probably favored. But second choice, I can deal with. I also use the 5 Magic Eclipse. He's definitely consistent type, that if things kind of go his way, he'll be right there at the finish and can win it. He's not, doesn't stand out speed figure wise, but he's good enough to win this kind of race, given some things happening. So he's not out of the question here. I also used Create Again, who looks pretty good. Should be the speed. If he goes right to the front, he might be ultra tough here, because if Liam doesn't actually run, this horse might shake loose, because he seems to be faster than the 2 Menelik. So my thinking is, if he gets hooked by Liam, or they kind of ding dong it out front, he could definitely be vulnerable. But if not, if he gets loose, that horse is going to be ultra tough. And then I threw in a wacky long shot, the 9 Fuego Caliente, a horse that has some back class compared to these horses and doesn't run too bad. He just doesn't win a lot. But I can definitely see a couple of scenarios where this horse can actually pick up the pieces. He doesn't run bad at the level. If you go back to his Del Mar turf race, you can just throw that one right out. Before that, he ran here at Gulfstream in June at the optional claiming 35 level and drew off by 4 going a mile on a fast track. And then you see a lot of turf races, so it kind of dirties up his form a little bit. And I think this horse is a little bit better than his 15-1 odds. He could be the win play.
And that's a nice bomber with Corey in the irons.
Absolutely.
That's
got to include those types, because those are the kind of horses that'll kill you in a pick 4. And you don't use them, and they're kind of marginal, and if you don't use them, those are the ones that'll win and be a good price and make it pay. So I can't leave that horse off.
So I have you down again. I just, because we like to put this out tomorrow, just want to make sure I'm getting it right. I've got you down for 5, 6, 7, 9, right, Barry?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, wow. After you guys hit on all my horses except for one. I think, Barry, you said maybe it might be the pace setter or something. The 2 Menelik. I know he likes to go this distance. Wanted a mile last time out with Johnny V in the irons, and at 10-1, I'll take that. A little bit of American Pharaoh blood in him. So I like the 2. I also like the 5 Magic Eclipse with Victor Don't Call Me LeBron James. He had a very nice last race. He has decent dirt speed, and that's what we're racing on, is the sweet Gulfstream dirt. And I think I like how this horse is the 5 is progressing into where he needs to be. Liam was my last cut. I really like the horse, and it was trying to make this ticket affordable, and I had to cut him out. If Fletcher beats me, he bleeds me. But yeah, I took him off. I do also like Hercules with Tyler Gaff in the irons. He was running with a lot better company, a lot more tough company. Love that dropping class. So I just don't want to go down any of the avenues that you guys talked about, because we talked about all the horses. So I just went 3 here, 2, 5, and 6. Menelik. Thank you, Mary.
Mary.
Wait. Well, okay.
Maybe she's having fun. I don't know.
Well. All right. Anyway, let's move on.
Let's go to the grass. Let's go to this grass race. This is my favorite race of the day, and it's gonna kill me.
Yeah, so the third leg of this pick 4 sequence is race number 8. It is a $61,000 allowance race. We are on the turf for the first time in this sequence, and we are only going 5 furlongs, guys. So I believe we've started one. Snipe,
He's up.
start us off.
All right. So I ended up going 3 deep here. I kind of perused Coop Tries Harder. But if you look at that horse's record, he's 31 lifetime starts, 4 wins, 5 seconds, 7 thirds. That's not a horse I can endorse on top. I mean, he can win. It's not impossible, but he's got he's got 7 thirds. I mean, the horse just doesn't want to win. He kind of wins by accident. Hasn't, if you look at the DRF, his form, he has no wins on the page, and his past performances go back to 2019, and he's 4-1 on the morning line. I hope he gets bet.
Right.
But I think the morning line is a little bit off, because the horse inside of him, who I did use, is Freewheeler. He definitely looks like almost a standout here. If you go back in his past performances, he broke his maiden in a state-bred New York race, a New York state-bred race, pretty easily. Then they stepped him up in the futurity, and he lost to a Breeders' Cup winner in 4-wheel drive. He was not too far off that horse, and then he kind of went off form. I'm guessing he was hurt or something went amiss, where he had some time off until basically August of 2020, and he came back kind of running. He ran pretty good those first 3 times, and then he tailed off early this year, and they gave him another layoff. So I would suspect that he's going to be ready to run. I mean, it would be fantastic if he was 6-1, but I think he's going to take some action, in comparison to everybody else. The other horse I did use was Kasim. I'm not sure how they're going to bet this horse. He's another one that has some back class, and he has some wins over this strip at 5 furlongs. So he's definitely familiar here. He's run good in the past. His last at Presque Isle was at a higher class, but this is kind of a lateral move from there. But he should be ready to go. I couldn't knock anybody for taking this horse. Danny Gargan's getting 25%, 61 to 180 days, which is pretty damn good. This is probably his best move. Although his price gives me kind of is shaky, because he's going to be the favorite, and he's not as solid as I would like. But definitely a must use in a situation like this, especially if you get to a horse like the one before in the 9 Fuego Caliente. If that horse wins and you don't have Kasim, then you may have made a mistake. And the last horse I used was Dr. Duke, who has a ton of speed, and I think this horse is going to be in the lead, and they're going to have to run him down. If this horse shakes loose and gets some easy fractions early, he's going to be ultra tough. Especially with Louis size, he's a master on the front end. So, it looks like that was the whole point of putting him on this horse, is to get him to the lead and have him take him all the way home. I'll take 8-1 every day of the week on a horse like this. But again, I think he's going to get bet down also. But those are the 3 I stuck with.
Excellent. We go ahead, AJ.
No.
The one horse that our guy D-Rest is the 5 cable channel, who man, that's a tough horse to bet against, and both Barry and I are. I do like the 7 Dr. Duke that you were talking about, Barry. I like the drop in class. He has been running in AJ's favorite. I'm surprised we haven't heard it yet. The Naira circuit. He's been running at the night. He's been running. He's a.
If you would have waited and let me gone, you would have heard about it. Yep.
AJ's a Naira guy, and but he's been running to Keelan and Naira. He actually won with one of my least favorite guys on it, Eric Cancel. On the turf up there, and he's 33% on the green stuff. This is Dr. Duke. Another horse that I like is the number 3. I like what I see. Another Kelly Breen trained horse, 16 turf starts. He's winning a 25% clip. That's not too shabby. And he likes running at this. He likes running at this distance. And I think you're right about the 7. I think he's going to get out front. I hope he wires it. But I think the horse that you let off with, Barry Coop, tries harder. Man, I was back and forth on this horse. I did include him on the ticket, and I don't think if this horse doesn't get out front, he's gonna get smoked.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be, and I'm he may not. I'm confident enough that I'm putting him on the ticket. The 1, 3, and 7 is where I am.
Yeah, the thing about cable channel, if this was a 7 furlong race on the grass or a mile, I would like that horse a lot better than 5. I don't think 5's a good distance for that horse. That's my only gripe with him, but he runs good. I mean, he's going to be competitive here because he fits, but I just didn't like the distance.
Gotcha. Nope, I agree. And Rick, I'm just going. I know it's the Naira State bred. I just like going back and forth with my guy AJ, who loves the Naira.
I love the Naira, but when you're talking about New York bred races, I mean, a $30,000 claimer is the exact same race as a $80,000 allowance race for New York breds. It's always the same thing. When you handicap those, you got to feel like, okay, well, you want a claimer. It's the same rated race, pretty much considered by Timeform and myself as any other race that's on the card that's New York bred. New York breds are so weird, and I hate all of them. It's what makes that track's so hard, but also so fun at the same time. That being said, I am with you on 2 of the 3 snipe that you talked about. Freewheeler, love Freewheeler here. Love the Maker coming back after the long layoff. Yes, please. 6-1 all day long. Dr. Duke. Yes, please. All day long, especially at 8-1. I love both of those plays. If I'm going to play one more just because I feel like I kind of have to. But if I went 2-7, I'd be 1,000% okay with that. And they're the 2 longest shots on the board. But instead of Kasim, I'm not a huge believer in Kasim. I'm going to take the 4, who no one's talked about, and that's Thing. What a cool name, Thing. Now, Thing is a 3-year-old who continues to weirdly get better, whether it's at Indiana Grand, Saratoga, Keeneland. Doesn't matter where this horse goes. I mean, this horse, first race ever, Ellis Park, Kentucky Downs, Churchill Downs, Indiana Grand, Saratoga, Indiana Grand, Keeneland. I don't care where this horse is running. The projection of where it's going always gives me hope that this horse is going to be around. I know it's 3-1, but Kasim at 5-2. I like Thing at 3-1 a little bit better. So I'm going the 4 here as well. So I'm going 4, 6, 7. But
4,
honestly,
6, 7?
but honestly, my favorite plays here are the 2 or the 7.
Yeah, I really like Duke, and just a quick on the 3. Friend of ours, friends of the show. His Twitter handle is Gulfstream Dave. Is the owner. He hangs his tack up in Delaware in the summer, and he goes down to Gulfstream in the winter. He loves claiming turf horses. So I didn't even know it was his horse. He said, "I hear you guys are doing Gulfstream. I got a horse. I got a horse in the 8th." I'm like, "Oh shit! I actually like that horse."
I love it.
Snowbird angle. The snowbird angle is always a good one.
Yeah, no, he's a good dude. Good dude. I hung out with him all summer. I want to be him when I grow up. and just go down to Gulfstream when it gets cold and hang out in Delaware in the summer. But
Just live here year round like I do.
Yeah,
Stay.
just
Stay.
move there.
Yeah, that's
You're
what
gonna
I
be
did.
there. Just move there.
Right.
Well, all right. Well, damn. We go from 5 furlongs to a mile and 70 yards, right, AJ?
We are doing that. Of course, this time, as we go a mile and 70, we are on the synthetic. And this is a claimer for $20,000. It is for 3-year-olds and up. And if I remember how we led this off at the top of the show, Tom, you would be first.
I will. That way, now I can't copy off you guys.
That's
I'm
what I
gonna
was afraid of, so I wanted to make sure you went first.
in I guess numerical order, not my preference. I like the 5 perfectly majestic. Likes this horse. This is a man. I love it when we go from 5 to a mile and 70. And these are trainers. I think either they love it or they hate it when looking at the condition books. We're going back to a mile and 70 yards. This horse, this 5, likes going at this distance. It suits him very well. Going first off, I've got 3 first off the claims in this race, I believe. But he's first off the claim. With the trader's first ride of the meet, is it a wacky angle? Maybe is it not an angle? It's something to consider. We're going a mile and 70 yards, so we have to look at that late kick that I always talk about, and this horse 5 has some of that. I also like the 6, which also ran a heck of a late last race, first off the claim. One on the synthetic, this oddball synthetic, and I'd love to get Barry seeing it up close in person, what it actually looks like, how it actually handles. And this horse also likes running at mile and 70 yards. And the third horse that I have is the 9, Captain Thunder. Our friend Sweezy picked up this horse recently. He's a Delaware horse, so I haven't mentioned Delaware. we are 37 minutes in. I've only mentioned Delaware once, but I have seen this horse up close in person. It's a horse that I won money on. I've lost money on, but I am familiar with it, and I do like that if Sweezy saw enough in it, he's having a half decent meet thus far. He's becoming a pretty decent claimer for a young trainer. And this is a horse that I think is got a combination of both. I think he could set the pace, might drop off and then kick it in late. But I definitely think that the 5 and the 6 are gonna just do a wait all day pate kind of thing and get there in the end. So I went 5, 6, 9. That also I might, depending on how my day goes, I might do that trifecta as well.
All right. I like the 6 too. Yeah. All right. So that being said, I'm on the 6 as well. So the 6 is on my ticket, and I'm gonna tell you the 2, Castagano. That sounds right?
Yeah.
Who ran?
I think it's Castano.
Castagno.
Yeah.
Castagno ran his first ever race on the synthetic at a higher level than what we're seeing, but at the same distance and won. Comes back now on 5-2, rightfully so. I am 5-2. I don't care. I am throwing that horse on my ticket.
And Steve's had a pretty decent meet.
The horse that you went with the 5, correct?
Yes, I had the 5.
So you got the wrong long shot, because the long shot that's got the best shot is the 8. I absolutely love this 8 here. If I'm alive to the 268, then I'm gonna be a happy guy.
You're gonna get paid.
I think this horse has got an absolute live shot at winning this race. Look at so if this was a dirt race, it would concern me more, but this horse is going from turf to synthetic now for the second time in its career. I love that because I think that's a lot more closely related than what you'd see if you're going to the dirt. Look at the numbers this horse ran back in 2019, 2020 on the turf. For me to think that this horse couldn't run that now, even at 6 years old, on the synthetic in a 20K claimer level, I think you're outside your mind. I think 20-1. I mean, this horse just won a race 4 times ago at a 16K claimer here down here Gulfstream
He won't be 20 to
on
1.
the turf.
No.
He won't be 20
Well,
to 1.
We're gonna
don't
see.
tell everyone that.
We're gonna see
He
how
won't
much
be.
that.
My bad.
Yeah,
I don't think he's gonna be
talk about
20 to 1.
that. Yeah, well, it's not helping that you're telling everybody that he's not going to be.
True. That's my bad.
You know what? I think the 8 is the worst horse on the card. Will never place anywhere close to the top 5. He sucks. Don't bet him ever. And I'll just go 2-6 and not play the 8 because he's the worst horse I've ever seen in my entire life.
He's got a nice pedigree. I can't complain with that.
But
So
no,
you went,
the 8 is the livest long shot of the day for me.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All
Yeah, I
right.
see a question in the chat.
Yeah, pop that up.
When it comes to the Tapeta, it's a very deep and slow surface. So, at least the trend that I've been seeing since they've been running it since September is speed hasn't done very well. No matter how fast or slow they're going, they just don't last. A stalking to mid kind of closing trip has been the best thing. And you'll see a lot of winners. I know there's one actually in this race, the 7, Robin Take Charge, that went wire to wire, which is very rare on the synthetic back in October. But you don't see that often. And actually, there's another horse that actually is in the first race of this sequence, Wow Run, that did the same thing going 5.5. And you're not seeing that a lot. So you might want to pay attention to them and how they run. If they both win, we're all good. But I singled Castano here. I thought that horse looks far and away better than these horses coming from those races in New York. A horse by the name of Land Biscuit won this past weekend.
Yep.
With the same kind of move, coming for Mott, coming out of those open turf races at Belmont and Saratoga, and then trying the synthetic for the first time. This horse actually has a win on the synthetic last time out. I just think he's a little bit better than these, even though it was at a condition claimer level. I think it was non-winners of 3. It was either 2 or 3. Non-winners of 2 or 3. But that race kind of beats everybody here. The other one I almost threw on the ticket was the 1 American Ninja, but I just thought that Castano has the better look here, even though he's probably going to be somewhere around 9-5, unfortunately.
Well, man, and the 2, I like the 2, and Steve is he's another part timer at Delaware, part time at Gulfstream, good dude, and he has the 1 and the 2 this race. I like them both, but I guess I didn't like him enough to put
New England guy too. He's a New England guy.
Yeah,
Suffolk Rockingham.
Yep. Oh yeah. And did you see what Sean put up in the chat, AJ?
Well, I mean, look, I understand what he's coming from, but is Carol here? No.
For your awareness, Barry.
Yeah, man.
Carol Cedeno is AJ's
my favorite
long lost
ever.
love. Yeah,
and I understand.
Long lost love.
She wins races.
She certainly does.
Constantly.
She went down to Puerto Rico and got her picture taken a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, excellent. So you just singled the 2. I like that. That is we have a couple.
I hope we both win that one for sure.
Yeah, it's a $24 ticket. Mine is, but I'm guessing this isn't going to pay a whole lot unless some wackiness happens, like my horse in the first leg, or I think the second leg, the 9 there, the Caliente Fuego.
I like where
Right.
Mary's
Fuego
at.
Caliente. If that horse wins,
Pointer.
it could open up some possibilities here.
Check it out.
But I don't gather this is going to pay, more than maybe $500. So, a little small ticket. I'll take it on a
Hey,
Wednesday.
on a Wednesday, why not?
Wednesday.
How often do you get down to the track? And is it close to you, Barry?
I'm 3 hours away, but I get down
Okay.
there fairly often.
Nice. And then Sean was on last week. You have a secret. You have a secret handicapper. I
Oh
I
yeah.
yeah.
My daughter, she's pretty good, man. She's she knows her stuff. I mean, she's not really, she's kind of like a social butterfly. She likes to look at the horses and stuff and write in the program and draw smiley faces on the horses in the program.
There
But
you go.
she
I love
understands how it works. Just by osmosis of me talking to myself in my house, she's picked up on a lot of stuff. It was like, oh, why this guy do this? Or, oh man, that horse had no shot. Why is he winning? And she understands speed figures and stuff like that, but she's only 8.
Hey,
She's
that's
only 8.
great.
Well,
I mean, that's when I learned.
Well,
I learned to read the form when I was 8, but
yeah.
I stuck with it. She's all
Well,
over
when
the
you're
place.
yelling at like Rosario, like, what the hell are you doing? And then she sees that same guy do the same
Listen,
thing.
man.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, Joel Rosario can't do anything wrong after his ride on Bobby's kitten in the turf sprint. So
that's
he's got an
he-
automatic free pass
Yeah, he
no matter
redeemed.
what he does.
I have been. I used to complain that I used to be a Rosario, and if I bet him, he would do something not too smart, and if I didn't bet him, he'd pull off a miracle. But after that, you're right. After that race, I'm like,
Yeah,
all
my
right,
buddy Ken Rudolph, he can't catch him. He can't catch him. He
Just,
bets
just,
can't
just,
catch him.
just wait for the day you bet against like Irad at like Belmont, and then she looks at you. She's like, "Why on earth would you bet against Irad right now?"
Oh,
You know what I mean?
man.
Like that type
Yeah,
of thing.
that's what I wouldn't need. I need
That
to
day
take a
will
walk.
That day
It will.
come.
It's probably closer than I think.
oh man. Well, we had a lot of, and I know you've got Barry has been nominated for what is it, America's Best Racing, if I'm not.
Yeah, ABR,
For-
their fans' choice podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we
So
want to
we'll
get
see.
him. We want to get him out, and so he can watch. Watch that. Maybe he can thank us in his acceptance speech.
Damn right I will.
That'd be nice.
But no, congratulations on that. And
Thank you.
man, what you do a lot, and I tried to explain it all before we started. Why don't you tell the folks that are watching and listening where they can find you and what you do and where they can get your podcast.
These days, I kind of my main thing is doing the Going in Circles podcast. Me and Chuck Simon, who's a former trainer, very well respected within the industry, has a lot of knowledge. He's taught me a ton of things since we've been friends for the past like 5-6 years. Um, you know, we just talk about the state of the game and things that come up during the week. I mean, there's no shortage of news stories or things to talk about, whether it's takeout or, new bets or, positive drug, tests on horses and all kinds of things. And we kind of cover it all. We cover a little basketball, some football too, a little bit, we kind of throw that in there, but, we just don't want to be a show that's all about making picks and handicapping. We want to kind of do it all because we'll do some of those shows too. I mean, for the Triple Crown races, we do them. For the Breeders' Cup, we did some with Jason Bides, who's Jose Lascano's agent. He's a good friend of ours too. So, we kind of want to spread it around. And so we do that every Monday. It usually comes out on late Monday night, definitely on Tuesday. But you'll see me pop up with my friend Gino Bucola on his podcast and webcast. I do some things for Stable Duel. So, I kind of spread it around. I don't write as much as I used to. I did write on Bet America's site for a little while, but I haven't done that in a while. More kind of this kind of stuff with webcast because the world's changed a little bit since then. So
Right.
kind of doing our thing. So I kind of spread it around.
No, that's really good stuff, and you're getting some love in the chat, and couple new names in here. So I appreciate you bringing your fan club with you. I know my guy. I see Rick James, and I appreciate
Oh
you being
yeah,
there, man.
that's my man, Rick
He
James,
is
Mary
a
Bishop.
yeah. Rick is a good guy. He always makes fun of me for betting on my Parks horses. But he's a good dude. But
Real quick, can I see? Okay, so I see the MLB logo with a black hat and the white symbol. What's on the other side?
It's actually a camouflage hat.
Oh, it's camo.
oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What's the logo
it's
on
a
the other side?
Yankees hat.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
I thought you could. It looked black. On
yeah,
screen.
yeah. It's
And if
it's
you would have
camo.
told me it was a White Sox hat, then you were never
No,
allowed back.
never
to the
that.
show
No,
ever
Never
again.
that.
I think actually that was one of our first interactions on Twitter, Barry. We were going back and forth talking about horses or something. I'm like, and then you had like a Yankees hat on. I'm like, damn, I thought I was
I
gonna
thought
like
you were
you.
cool.
I thought, well, you just sport the caps, right? You're not.
I got I got a bunch of them. I got about 50 different hats
Nah,
that I wear a lot. But I do have another one like this, another camo one that's Toronto Blue Jays. I got a lot of Toronto Blue Jays, Tampa Bay hats.
okay.
That's cool.
So
As long as you're not repping the Sox, I'm good.
nope. I mean,
That's my
in
Cardinals,
fact,
I'm
what's
good.
funny is I grew up in Boston, didn't never liked the Red Sox, so I
Oh,
don't
good for
have a
you.
Red Sox hat.
Good for you.
None, not one.
Well, that. Well, that was
Weird,
back in the day.
weird, but
That-
good for you.
Yeah,
probably-
it's very
you're probably
strange.
around my age or so. So that mean that's back when before they were. Now it's popular to be a Sox fan, but that was back in the day when they weren't doing too
Yeah,
much.
it was crazy because my dad, I don't know if you knew this, my father used to work for Converse Shoe Company,
Oh,
and he was the vice president of promotions in the Northeast. So he used to
Wow.
just deal with the player contracts and the players, and he used to take me
Oh,
to
boy.
Oh no.
down to the clubhouse and stuff like that. And I used to meet all the players, but I used to go to Fenway all the time, and just never liked the Red Sox.
Talking about the Red Sox.
Unfortunately, to everyone out there watching,
You guys don't have to put me on right now. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Oh, Barry,
going
how you
on?
doing, buddy? It's Randy.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Yeah, nice to
We're
meet
good.
you.
Great
Yeah, I was just
timing. We're
waiting.
just finishing up.
Yeah,
You're a little late.
I was just waiting, guys. I was just
we got
sitting there,
we got a team meeting afterwards, so I thought. I
Yeah,
thought you
no
wanted to-
doubt. But Barry, you said you're from. Did you say you're from Boston? Did I just hear that?
Yeah. Originally,
I grew up in northeastern Connecticut, which is
Oh,
not
okay.
far from Boston, like the Worcester type of area around.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. Yeah, I lived in Haverhill,
you live in
Lawrence.
Haverhill.
I went to school in Lawrence, Central Catholic High School.
Oh, all right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Surprised we have a guest on that Randy went to school like 5 feet
I
away.
know every
Probably-
time. Well,
probably
because it's like the New England.
I can hear the accent though. I can hear your accent.
that it's just like nails on a chalkboard. Chalkboard.
It's the worst.
Hey, Tom, watch what you're saying, all right?
Yeah, there it is.
All right,
There it
my Philly will come out and I'll ask where you at. Yeah, man. Well, Barry, no, I appreciate you coming. And like I was saying beforehand, and I'll hook up with you later on. But we're doing some stuff like you are doing, and we're doing a lot more than picks these days, and would love to get your
Cool.
input, whether it be a round table, one-on-one on the state of the game that we're trying to fix.
Sounds great to me, man.
Yeah, Barry, we just started one that's how to fix horse racing. And we just did our first one, which we're doing like a mini series of. And the first one was let the people speak and what they would do to fix horse racing. Sounds like something that you would be interested in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm all for that. I mean, you never know where good ideas will come from. And it's good to get out and reach out to everybody, all the bettors. There's a lot of sharp people in this game, a lot of sharp people on Twitter, despite all the nonsense that you see,
Yeah.
that have good opinions about things. And it'd be good to have them at least voice their opinion. And maybe somebody, up high enough will like what they have to say.
That's the
Yeah,
whole
no, absolutely. That's what we said. Like, I mean, we got to say something.
the bark
I mean,
loud
and,
enough.
and if we enough
Right,
voices
exactly.
say
Squeaky
it,
wheel gets the oil.
yeah, somebody's got to
Bam.
listen, right? I mean, exactly. So yeah, Barry, no, definitely. You're welcome anytime to come on one of those shows as well. where we
Sure,
talk about that
absolutely.
stuff.
I'll do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
not a problem. I'd love to.
well, and we're going. We do this every Tuesday off the rail. I know Thursday that Randy and Sarah and AJ are going to do their weekly pick show. AJ does his show us, and probably one of the best names out there in YouTube
Name
land.
it.
Show us your TDs. It's a football show. It's a football show. And then, of course, our Monday. We last couple of weeks have been a little bit different due to the what happened with Medina Spirit, but we do our weekly shows on Mondays. And Barry, good luck with your nomination tonight. We
Thank
were not
you.
we were not lucky enough to be on that ballot.
No.
So what we voted, I voted for
Yeah.
you. And
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No, hey.
Yeah.
no,
So if you
it's-
win, me and
always-
Tom are taking credit.
Okay,
always-
I'm totally
Always
for
the
that.
fan.
Next time you guys come down, to Florida, dinner's on me.
You do a lot of good stuff for the game, and we need more people like you and the guests that we had last week, Sean, Patrick Nolan, and just there's a lot of good
See, you
people
had
out there.
back-to-back New Englanders on here, and
right.
Randy's from New England.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
know.
you guys know where it's
I
at.
know.
I've been
yeah,
against. I've
listen,
been
it's
in
the brain of the
production
country,
meetings.
let's face it.
I've been against it in production meetings, but no.
Oh man,
Look, I'm in California now. I'm in SoCal. You're in Florida. We got smart and moved.
see,
to
we
Florida.
we know where it's at.
Um,
Get out of that weather, man.
with that being said, Pegasus.
Yes.
Let's do something for that.
Okay,
Are you going down?
I'm down. Yeah, absolutely. Every
You're
year.
gonna be down there? Cool.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do a show with Barry. He's the Gulfstream guy, right? So we'll do a Pegasus show no matter what.
Good.
And,
I'm down.
And I think we're going down as well to the Pegasus. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
used
then I
live
get
in,
to meet you guys in person.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be a good time. I used to live in the Tides building right there across the bridge over in Hollywood Beach. So I spent some time at Gulfstream.
Oh yeah, that's the spot. That's my spot. Even though actually I'm technically closer to Tampa.
No, Daytona.
Gulfstream is my home track though.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Suffolk Downs. Did you go to Suffolk Downs?
Absolutely. I was like 5 minutes from Rockingham Park when I was a kid. This was when I was in high school. So yeah, Wonderland.
The Greyhound.
Nine.
Come on,
Oh yeah.
I train Greyhounds in Plainfield.
Exactly. Exactly. You said, and then when I was older, I used to drive to Mohegan Sun.
I
Go
worked
down
in
there.
Mohegan.
And
See,
Get out.
AJ
I
hates
went
when
there
do
once.
this because everybody in New England, it's like every time this happens. I used to bartend at Mohegan Sun at the Wolf Den.
It's a good spot. Oh yeah, they used to have the free concerts there.
Yeah, in the middle of
Yeah.
And then Randy bartended there, and they stopped.
Yeah, well, they chose because I was there. No,
Couple complaints
good
from the
times, man.
complaints from the young ladies, and they had to stop.
Yeah,
That's
women
fine.
weren't too
See?
excited about it.
See, it's better than Atlantic City. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's
I haven't. I mean, all my family like moved out of Massachusetts, so I don't know how that new place is, the Encore Casino.
Yeah, the new one in Massachusetts.
I heard it's nice, but it's basically replaced Suffolk Downs. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. But Suffolk Downs, it's sad.
yeah, it sucks.
Suffering
Well,
Downs, we used to call it.
Hell yeah.
Well, we are still live. So
Yeah.
I know. Sarah's about to walk on and be like, "Hi, what's up?" in her
Yeah.
pajamas.
Well, no. Again, Barry, good luck tonight, and everybody
Thank
who
you.
joined us,
Yep.
and everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you, and Barry, thank you for bringing the fan club. Couple new sets of eyes.
Couple new faces.
And hopefully AJ didn't scare them off, and my
I hope not.
my Gulfstream shirt didn't scare them off. So I really appreciate everybody
Yeah.
everybody coming on, and we'll see you guys again on Thursday. Until
And
then,
absolutely, and Barry, you gotta love like people like D-Rest and all the people out there that I saw watch the show tonight, the new people. But D-Rest, how you like that? Rockingham, super heavy track.
Yeah, man.
Dr. Faker held
that's awesome. He still knows. That's the kind of people we get here with the triple crown.
Carl
They know
Gambardella
their
saves
shit.
all. Gamby
They know
saves
their
all.
shit.
Carl Gambardella, if you don't remember him. Jockey. He's the man.
Wow,
He couldn't lose.
that's awesome.
every
That's
race.
great.
He was like
Rudy
the,
Baez. Rudy
what's his
Baez.
name?
Okay.
In California. He was who's the one that does all the circuits up here? Bays, Russell Bays.
Hey,
Russell Bays, yes.
Russell Bays.
Yes, he's that equivalent. I think he won 5,000 races or something.
Oh yeah, I'm
Close
sure.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely up there on the leaderboard.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. I love Liam's from real England. I like that. Of course you are. Your name's Liam.
Of course, yeah. Got a little bit of. Let me guess, you're a Celtics fan too. But cool. Well, guys, good luck tonight, Barry. Hope you.
Thank you.
And you get bragging rights.
Win one
Yeah,
for
man.
What'd you say, AJ?
Said win one for us.
Yeah. Win one for the little guy.
Oh, you guys getting a shout out, we win for sure.
There you go.
No question.
Well, man, we'll do it again. Like I said, we'll hook up when
100%.
we get everything together on what we're progressing for outside of a pick show on this racing on the racing thing. So
Sounds great.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Mary, and everybody. Thanks tonight. Thanks everybody, and good luck tomorrow. Hope it doesn't rain.
All right.
It will.
Thank you, everybody. I did my best tonight.
Yeah.